and Dwayne Wade right at the body of Anderson Varejao. Welcome to your Kodak moment, Anderson Varejao. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry!
Okay, welcome back to the BSPN radio show. We got a action-packed week this past week.
Yes, we do.
To start out, we had the playoffs, the conference finals. We got our participants. We got all that going. We actually had the first games of both series.
Yes, we do. And those games are the Portland Trail Blazers and the Golden State Warriors. Game 2 at 9 p.m. GSW's up 1-0.
Yeah, no one's really surprised.
Yeah. Do you think the Blazers have a shot of winning a game?
Well, the Blazers played really poorly in Game 1. Both Dame and CJ did not have good games. But I really don't believe any of that can happen.
Yeah.
Like, it's gonna be a hard battle, even with KD, who's probably not gonna be back for it.
That is true. And then on Friday, the Toronto Raptors against the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee is up 1-0.
This really surprised me. I mean, Toronto had that game wrapped up. People talk about Kyle Lowry laying an egg in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. He went out there and dropped 30. He was the only player to make an actual field goal in the fourth quarter. The Raptors let that one slide, and that was a really bad way of doing that. Mm-hmm. Like, the Raptors coming off of probably the best shot, not only in these playoffs, in my opinion, but potentially in playoff history. That's how great it was, with all of it, what it had behind it. I mean, Kawhi just faded on the Sixers, 4 bounces. We all know the story by this point. Yeah. Still amazing. But the Raptors need more out of Kawhi now, and after Kawhi carried that whole series, I'm not sure he can make it and continue to compete at that elite level.
Just because I think, the Bucks are younger.
Yeah, it's not just that the Bucks are younger.
But they're more athletic also. And
I trust the Bucks to allow more wear and tear on themselves. Yeah. Like, the Raptors have put in so much. They had 5-game series in the first round, then they had a 7-game series. The Raptors have played a total of 9 games. The Bucks have played a total of 9 games in the playoffs.
Yeah.
The Raptors just had a 7-game series.
Which is insane.
Yeah, but look, I think the Raptors want to go further, but they're happy with what they got. Mm-hmm. That one shot represents so much to them that I think it's all worth it at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, trading DeMar DeRozan for 1 year, for 1 year of Kawhi Leonard may be a massive steal just on face value, even if he leaves.
Yeah. Oh man, crazy week.
Yeah.
Week in sports.
Pretty crazy week for a couple other reasons. You okay, Max?
No, I'm not okay. Because the Knicks did not get the first pick; they got the 3rd pick.
Yep.
The Pelicans are getting the first pick.
Grizzlies 2, Knicks 3, Lakers 4, Cavs 5, Suns 6, Bulls 7. I believe 8 is the Wizards.
Yeah, so it's I'll just reiterate. It's New Orleans, Memphis, New York, LA Lakers, Cleveland, Phoenix, Chicago, Atlanta, Washington, Atlanta, Minnesota, Charlotte, Miami, and then Boston.
Minnesota got fucked worse than the Knicks did, in my opinion. Because at least the Knicks didn't fall to 4 or 5. Because the talent difference from the top 3 down onwards is massive.
That is true.
The Timberwolves went from where so for those who don't know, the Lakers and Timberwolves were a total of 1 game apart, and that one game was a game when the Timberwolves beat a struggling Lakers team, which was Tom Thibodeau's last game, and if we had just lost that game, we would have a coin flip for the 4th pick. That's why I'm mad.
Yeah.
Because of course this happens to the Lakers. So Lakers fans, all of you out there, I want you to thank the Minnesota Timberwolves. You took our team, you took the Minnesota Lakers, the Minneapolis Lakers, and now you've taken our potential 4th overall pick. And now we are back into the realm of obscurity and being useless.
So do you think So who do you see the Lakers taking?
I think it goes 1 with Zion, 2 with Morant, and then 3 with RJ. I think the Knicks have the best package for Anthony Davis. Let's start with that. And then I think, honestly, 4, they probably go Jarrett Culver. They don't really have a shooting guard spot locked down. Jarrett Culver can be a secondary ball handler. He's proven he can play off the ball very well. If we actually see what the news has been saying with LeBron being traded, he can pair well with Alonzo. If they do trade Lonzo, he can play both guard spots. The real question with him is, he can't be a primary ball handler.
No.
So it's going to be interesting who he can play alongside with.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting.
So in my mock draft, I believe I had him falling pretty far. I think he went to the Wizards, either the Wizards or the Grizzlies immediately after. No, I had Sekou Doumbouya going to Grizzlies. We can talk about this later. I'm going to do another mock draft anyway now that the lottery has happened.
Yeah, I'll do one too.
But it's I feel bad for Knicks fans.
Well, listen. So what I think the Knicks should do is trade.
This is where you go after Anthony Davis.
Yeah,
like there shouldn't even be a question mark.
Exactly.
You go after Anthony Davis.
Somehow package the 3rd pick with
Kevin Knox, Dennis Smith Jr., Alonzo Trier, if you can accept his team option.
I wouldn't trade DSJ. I'd trade like Alonzo. I would for Anthony Davis.
Why would you not trade DSJ?
Because the salary that we're taking on with Anthony Davis is a lot.
So you do it after the draft. You do it July 1st. You tell them this is the trade we're going to give you. And you do it immediately after you get KD and Kyrie. That still works. Okay,
so then you do that. And then, you have KD, Kyrie, Anthony Davis.
Damian Dotson, Mitchell Robinson.
Exactly, and that's
who would you rather give up in a trade for Anthony Davis, Mitchell Robinson or Damian Dotson?
I'd rather give up Damian Dotson.
I think it'd be very close because I think Anthony Davis is such a transformative defensive player that Mitchell Robinson, although Mitchell Robinson and Anthony Davis would be great together, you would not be able to score on the inside. The biggest thing for me is that Anthony Davis is enough, and you're going to get a diminishing return from Mitchell Robinson. And then you're going to have Kyrie in the pick and roll a lot. You're going to have KD in the pick and roll a lot. It just feels like it kind of get a little dicey.
I feel like you keep Mitchell Robinson, because he's 19 or 20 or something like that. He has already proven to me he could be one of the greatest shot blockers of all time.
Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
Okay, well, he could be a Hall of Fame shot blocker.
That's also not. Let's stop there.
Well,
he just came out of 1 year. Let's not say he's a Hall of Famer already.
Not a Hall of Famer, but he's going to be good.
He's going to be good.
He's going to be good at blocking shots. I think if you pair him with Anthony Davis, it takes a lot less defensive pressure off of Anthony Davis, which means he has more time and energy to focus on his offensive game and his...
Well, I don't. If I'm trading for Anthony Davis as the Knicks and KD and Kyrie are on the way, I don't care about Anthony Davis's offensive game as much.
No, but you want to utilize...
Offensively, AD would be the third option on that team.
KD?
AD would be the third option on that team.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It would be KD 1... Kyrie as a close second, and then AD as the third. It's the exact same thing that the Celtics did with Ray Allen and Paul Pierce.
Well, but Kyrie Irving has not been shooting well
in the playoffs.
I know it's in the playoffs, but
come on now.
But still, Kyrie Irving was known as a playoff performer.
Okay, but that whole team was in complete shambles. You can't really blame them. I mean, Terry Rozier is going on national public television and talking about how he sacrificed the most and how the world is unfair to him and how he's not staying in Boston no matter what. Which, he's going into restricted free agency. He can't really choose that.
Yeah, no, he can't.
That team is fractured. And it is fractured between Kyrie, Gordon Hayward, Brad Stevens, and the young guys. That's where it went wrong.
Yeah.
Brad Stevens, we've seen, cannot coach egos. Mm-mm. He just can't control them. And all that talk about, maybe Brad Stevens more valuable than LeBron James, get the fuck out of here. A coach will never be as valuable as one of the greatest players.
Yeah.
It's just, as much as I love Greg Popovich, I would take Kevin Durant over Greg Popovich any day.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah,
it's
definitely.
It's stupid.
Yeah, and it's Yeah, it's stupid.
Yeah, it's. I think the Celtics have a lot of thinking to do.
Mm-hmm.
I think Jason Tatum could end up looking like Andrew Wiggins in a few years.
Yeah.
Just because he's going to be force-fed shots, and over the past 2 years, he has not become a better player. Well, I know he's a second-year player. He didn't improve his skill set whatsoever. If anything, he got worse because he had so many mid-range touches that now he thinks it's a better shot.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown is still my favorite player on that team. I can trust in Jaylen Brown.
Yeah, I could trust in Jaylen Brown. I want Jaylen Brown off the Celtics.
I do too. I like Jaylen Brown. I think with another team where he could be like the second option, he could actually be a star.
Yeah, I think
we could see Jaylen Brown be an all-star.
Also, I think if you're the Celtics, you trade Gordon Hayward. I know we talked about this like a month ago.
It's going to be hard to find an option.
But like even I think you just get rid of him and you build around Jason Tatum somehow.
If anything, you would need to find someone that would take him on.
I see him going to like the Suns, maybe play backup for Kelly Oubre.
Why would Gordon Hayward play backup for Kelly Oubre?
Well, I think Kelly Oubre is a better player.
Well, the Suns have proven that they don't want to give Kelly Oubre more than a decent amount of money. So.
Okay, so then you bring in Gordon Hayward and you send.
Well, here's what I've been. I said this
Tucker,
last week, but if Kyrie goes to the Nets, D'Lo to the Suns for T.J. Warren, that now 6th pick, and Josh Jackson would look pretty decent.
I don't think the Nets are gonna be as aggressive as the Knicks and Lakers.
I think the Nets would definitely be fine with trading away D'Lo.
I think maybe, but I mostly think that the Nets are kind of fine with their situation right now because they have a good core of young guys, of like young talent.
Well, they do have big holes in their roster. They need a power forward. Their small forward situation is not great. I mean, Damari Carroll had a good season, I guess you can call it, but at shooting guard, Alan Crabb did nothing all year. You have Karis LeVert, you have Joe Harris, sure. Center, you got Ed Davis had a remarkably good season. Mm-hmm. You have Jarrett Allen, obviously. But who do you have at either forward spot?
I agree with that, but I don't think the Nets are going to try and trade like one of their good young guys. Like I think
the best case scenario for the Nets for me would be Jimmy Butler, Tobias Harris, getting both of them like day one, and then getting D'Lo, like matching anything on D'Lo. Mm-hmm. Then you have your big three, potentially a big four, depending on how high you are on Spencer Dinwiddie. I personally love him. Yeah, I think he is better than the 30th best point guard in the league. Mm-hmm. Like there are starting point guards on other teams that I would not prefer over Dinwiddie. It's just I love how the Nets are built. I'm just not comfortable with how they're going to go into this offseason. I think. Yeah, I just don't think they're going to be as big players as maybe not. They have been tied to KD, Kyrie, and Kawhi recently. That is true, but I think that's just because like KD and Kyrie are both kind of being like a little ambiguous when they talk about New York. Yeah. I mean, if KD and Kyrie don't come, the Knicks are the laughingstock of the league again. Yeah. Unless they get AD. No, even if they get AD, it'll kind of fall flat on its face. I don't think getting AD would. No. What is a team with AD? Well, wait. First of all, I don't think the Knicks can be more of an embarrassment than they were this regular season. Like winning 13 games. Like, can we quickly talk about how tanking has fallen apart in the league after this lottery? Yeah, exactly. It's like I love it and hate it at the same time because on the business side of things, you don't want players coming to buy tickets, like spectators coming to buy tickets to watch a team that's not trying to win. Exactly. But at the same time, those fans support the bad teams because they think they're going to get the next superstar. Right. Because they think the Knicks came to any number of games and they went, "We're getting Zion." They would chant Zion in MSG. Yeah. And now they're getting R.J. Barrett, who's going to be a trade piece, or he's going to be there. And I mean, R.J. Barrett's going to be a good player in my opinion, but it's just it's not looking like that's going to be good. On the other hand, you have de-incentivized tanking. So that's a good thing. You flattened out the lottery, so being mediocre is fine again. People always talk about the hellhole you can be in if you're a 9-10 seed, how you can't get any type of talent. Right, but then like You also don't want, like, look, the Pelicans are a good team right now. The Lakers are a good team. They don't deserve a top 5 pick. The Pelicans don't deserve a top 1 pick.
And the fact that New Orleans, even Memphis and LA are all above Cleveland.
Cleveland and Phoenix and the Bulls.
Yeah.
It's
like it should have been New York, Cleveland, Phoenix, Chicago.
I mean, you can say that, but at the same time, you don't want 4 teams in the league winning under 25 games. Like that's what happened. Yeah, but that's because they were all tanking.
Exactly.
Except for the Knicks, in my opinion. The Knicks were not tanking. The Knicks were just bad.
No,
like,
the Knicks were tanking.
The Knicks were not a good team. The Knicks have 2, maybe 3 actual NBA players on their roster.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, they're bad, but they were also like
maybe they were leaning into it a little, but they are not a good team.
No, they
could feasibly go and lose and like continue to be the worst team in the league if they actually tried to win.
No, I think they did, but I think they realized that their best efforts
maybe, but what I'm saying
still not win the game.
What I'm saying is that as smart as the lottery may be and as good of a solution to the problem that it may be, it still raises some conflicts. Because the Knicks are a bad team, and a Zion Williamson, if he's all that he's supposed to be, could change that. And RJ Barrett, less so.
Listen, I'm still hopeful that the Knicks trade for AD.
I think this is a better situation than having the number 1 overall pick. Because I think having the number 1 overall pick would put so much pressure that if they do keep Zion and he's not all that everyone's just going to be like, should have traded him.
Yeah.
And everyone's so split on Zion. Like, either you need to trade him, like he's the most hyped, you're going to get good value out of Anthony Davis, or they're going, Zion is the next LeBron, blah, blah, blah. I'm more in the first part. I think you always take the proven player over the prospect. Mm-hmm. But being able to combine a package of RJ Barrett, Kevin Knox, and just going from there, I think is quite significantly it's a more streamlined choice.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
I think it leads you in the right direction. I also
so it's not the worst thing that could have happened.
Oh, it's certainly not. At least you don't have the 4th or 5th pick.
That is true. At least we're still.
Who are you going to offer?
3.
DeAndre Hunter?
Yeah, no one. We're still in the top 3. We still have a shot at AD. The Kyrie and KD situation hasn't really changed.
Yeah. Could be worse.
It
you could be the Minnesota Timberwolves.
It could be a whole lot worse. It really could be a whole lot worse.
Yeah.
But Atlanta is going to be...
No, Atlanta has a right to be angry.
Angry?
Yeah. They got absolutely screwed.
I mean, the only...
10-8?
I mean, the only...
It's hard for them to fall farther.
Well, no, but the only person I would see them going, like, over is the Lakers.
What do you mean?
Like, because, like, Atlanta was a better team last year than most of these teams, except for
but they had 2 picks and both of them fell about as far as they could have.
Right, but I don't think they were expecting a top 5 pick.
Maybe not, but they were at least expecting to stay at their spot.
Well, whatever. They got 2 picks in the top.
They were supposed to have 5 and 8. Instead, they have 8 and 10.
Well, they still have 2 top 10 picks with already 2 or 3
in a very,
stars.
very weak draft. You got to understand, 10 and 8 in this draft is not 10 and 8 in last year's draft. 10 and 8 in last year's draft got you good players.
That's true, but like
8 was Wendell Carter, I believe, and then 10 was it was Mikal Bridges, yeah. 10 and 8 got you high value last year. This year they're gonna get you what? Jackson Hayes and who knows? Cam Reddish could fall that far.
I'm just saying the Atlanta Hawks I think are in a good situation right now because they got a good Trae Young.
They're in a good situation, yes,
John
but
Collins.
This lottery did not go in their favor whatsoever.
Okay, maybe not completely in their favor, but still.
I mean, I genuinely wish the Timberwolves had that top 4 pick. We need anything.
Yeah, and Boston's going to need that 14 pick.
I'm calling it now. If Boston gets a Rui Hachimura, I am a winner. I will go to whatever restaurant and buy myself a nice meal to congratulate myself. I also think Kobe White at 7 to the Bulls is now a lock unless they trade for Lonzo Ball, We have heard rumors that the Lakers could be interested in swapping Chris Dunn and the Bulls' first-round pick for Lonzo Ball, which I think Lonzo would pair perfectly with Zach LaVine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do quickly want to say, in order to call in, the number is 802-440-4668, 802-440-4668 for any questions you have about sports as a whole. You want to do a quick mock draft on air?
Yes.
That'd be fun.
On air mock draft.
Let's go. You want to take first, or should I take first? And we'll just alternate.
You could take first.
Well,
wait, I'll take first because I want the next.
Okay, well, go for it.
Okay, so, Zion.
There you go.
So Zion to New Orleans because, he's...
I don't think Anthony Davis is staying. People have said, Anthony Davis should stay to try and play with Zion. That's stupid. He wants out. Let him have out. You want to talk about Zion as a prospect? You can take his biggest strengths. I'll take his biggest weaknesses because more than likely you are the supporter. I am the hater of Zion.
Okay, well, his biggest strengths obviously we don't know how he's going to play against NBA talent, but, even going back to high school and college talent, he was a bully. He just bullied people up and down the court.
Yep.
He got inside any way possible. Anytime he wanted to go inside, he got inside. The defense couldn't force. Defense tried to force him left. He finished left. Tried to force him right. He finished right. Tried to stop him at the rim. They got dunked on. He was an absolute freight train in college. And it's of course it's going to be different in the NBA just because the guys are bigger, older, and better.
Yep.
But he
has a lot of raw talent. I'll give you that.
He has a lot of raw talent. He has he has a lot of potential, but he's already really really good.
Yeah. Well, okay. I'll take the negatives.
Okay.
Not a good jump shot. It's not a broken jump shot. He just hasn't shown he can make it.
Mm-hmm.
His weight is a definite concern at 285. You can't be that big and not risk some major injuries like he has.
I think he's going to shed when he gets.
I think he's actually going to gain.
No, I think he's going to shed when.
I think he's going to gain very slightly to add more muscle because he's already essentially all muscle. But I think he's going to do that. His build is not necessarily. It's more built for football than for basketball. You talked about him finishing either side. His left is not nearly as good, which may be because they shade him the entire game. But still, his control on his left is not, dribbling on his left is not nearly as good. Although and then he forces himself to finish with his left as a natural left-handed player. He's gonna have some injury concerns day one, just because his knee something's gonna happen to it. It's just he's putting a lot of weight and a lot of force on his legs every time he jumps, and he is sure as hell going to be jumping a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Then you got to just look at what can you surround him with. He has a very, very distinct play style, which means a lot of running in transition. Zion in the half court is not nearly the player he is in the full court, and you definitely got to pay attention to that. So I say his floor is Marvin Williams. I've been saying this for a while. 2002 draft may not have been very good. Marvin Williams was a hyper-athletic forward that they thought could defend very well. I love Zion's defensive impact.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's
also another strength.
I think that's the biggest strength of his game. Offensively, he may not be the best, in my opinion, but defensively, he's great.
Yeah.
So I can see him becoming a Marvin Williams type player, a good defensive player, but never really figures out the offense, and kind of he'll give you highlight plays on occasion just by jumping out of the gym.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, he's like a high-end role player. I think the ceiling is obviously some Charles Barkley, LeBron James, Blake Griffin comparison, just a freak moving in transition. I think the most available prediction for me would be Julius Randle plus. So Julius Randle can't move in transition as a ball handler, but he can really work down low. He's a human wrecking ball. He can do all of that.
Yeah.
So I can see Zion giving you 20 and 10 at some point.
Yeah, definitely.
But I don't really see him as being this generational transformative talent. And I think that this draft may end up being one of the weakest we've ever seen.
Really?
Yeah. It's deep and you can find role players late. But as for a superstar, I don't trust that Zion can be that. John Morant has the best chance for me. RJ Barrett has not shown what I would want from him. No, he's shown leadership. He just kind of gets caught up in his own storylines where he thinks, hey, I can be, the hero right now, and I can go out and I can prove that I'm that alpha dog, that people should follow me. In a similar way to Kobe, except the problem is he doesn't make shots like Kobe.
Yeah.
And he can get really caught up in that and say, I'd rather go like 7 for 22. But he needs to be in a good culture. And I think after the third pick you go down and I've said this over and over, the talent falls off. So yeah. Second pick, I can take that one. John Morant to the Grizzlies. I personally am very conflicted about this. I think you can look RJ. Obviously, those are the top 3 talent.
I think Ja's the choice.
Here's my thing. You have DeLon Brooks. DeLon Brooks has been quietly an incredibly good player. He can go off the dribble. He shoots the 3 lights out. He's a Landry Shamet with less coverage.
But John Morant is a better player.
I'm not sure about that. In talent rankings, they're pretty close to each other. Here's my thing with Ja, though. With DeLon Brooks at the shooting guard, you don't really need to look to fill that. And Mike Conley has said that he doesn't want to be a part of a rebuilding team. The Grizzlies are obviously a rebuilding team.
Mike Conley is not in a Grizzlies uniform at the start of next season.
I'd agree. I'd absolutely agree. So John Morant goes there, which would be a colossal shift from what they've been doing for the past 10 years. Mm-hmm. You go from grit and grind to fast pace in transition. Jaren Jackson Jr. can continue to run and space the floor, as well as improve his post game. DeLon Brooks is going to be spotting up the entire game. If they can get Justin Holiday back to how he was with the Bulls early in the season, that'd be nice. They have a good amount of holes in their roster. We could definitely see them back here again next year.
Yeah. But
their pick will only be top 5 protected or top 6. But the Grizzlies could definitely, they have Jonas Valanciunas at center for the time being. Jaren Jackson Jr. at the 4. At the 3, could you look at DeLon Wright? There's just... What you can say about RJ is that he can play all positions 1 through 3. Mm-hmm. And you could definitely... if the Grizzlies had been a lower pick, I could have seen them going Cam Reddish and just sticking with Mike Conley. Yeah. But I think with where they are, they definitely have to go Mike Conley. Have to go John Morant. Have to ship out Mike Conley for whatever draft picks they can get or whatever small forward they can get. I mean, look at the Suns trying to get Mike Conley in. Yeah. I think that could definitely happen. I think the Suns have such an overwealth of wings that they could look to flip TJ Warren, which I think would be a bad decision because TJ Warren has been able to make his threes this year. Mm-hmm. But the Grizzlies could definitely target TJ Warren in a package, or they could look at the Lakers for that and try to get, who knows, Brandon Ingram out of it. But I think the Grizzlies,
if he's healthy.
The Grizzlies could not be more happy with this pick.
Well, yeah, of course.
Take your Knicks.
New York. Well, obviously, we talked about it earlier in the show. The dream scenario is to package that pick with Kevin Knox. That whole thing, and trade it away. But if they don't, I think you have to go to. You have to go with RJ Barrett.
I think you have to go RJ Barrett either way.
Yeah.
Because you're going to be trading the player, not the pick, in order to keep your salary cap space.
So I think it's RJ Barrett because, he's the last kind of huge name.
Yeah, he's also the best player available.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I don't think it's any question that they're going to draft RJ. If Memphis ends up drafting Ja Morant and the Pelicans end up drafting Zion. But if I'm the Knicks and if Ja Morant falls, let's say Memphis takes RJ Barrett at 2.
You jump on him.
Yeah, I think you take Ja Morant and then I think you keep him.
Okay.
Don't take AD.
I don't think Kyrie can play with Ja Morant though. I don't see it. Now, if you're saying that, oh, you can get Clay and KD, or
Yeah,
you
maybe
can get
something like that, or like
Kawhi and KD,
or Jimmy Butler and KD.
I don't think the Knicks should want Jimmy Butler. I think that Jimmy Butler
I think
walks
not.
into that locker room and starts screaming at everyone, and
No, not if he's not with Kevin Durant.
everyone but Kevin Durant. John Morant's getting his ass yelled at.
Well,
Same
yeah.
with Mitch Robinson. Same with Damian Dotson. Everyone. Like, I think John Morant and Damian Dotson could be one of the most shocking and scary future backcourts if they continue to develop in the way that we've seen that they could.
Mm-hmm.
But then you got to kind of start looking at trading Dennis Smith Jr., and who I still think he has all-star potential. It's just it's kind of falling apart, man.
Yeah,
Like,
it is.
Knicks, I believe in you. But it's if you're not going to trade for Anthony Davis, I'm not really sure what you're gonna do. And if you can't trade for Anthony Davis, it's a bad situation to be in compared to what you had with rebuilding around Zion and just having Mitchell Robinson and Damian Dotson with him.
Yeah. Damn.
Okay, at number 4 we got the Lakers.
Who do you have?
Lakers' 2 position of need for me is power forward and shooting guard.
Mm-hmm.
You could say their center needs a big boost, but with how many talented centers there are in free agency, I'm sure you can get one there. As for shooting guards, you're not going to find someone who can handle the ball, shoot the three, move around, like they need. You could look at Jarrett Culver here,
Mm-hmm.
who I actually think might be that pick. He can handle the ball. He's going to be your number 2 ball handler, but he can also play off ball, which is the biggest thing. You could also look DeAndre Hunter as a big, just like role player glue guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't trust DeAndre Hunter as a big difference maker, and the Lakers are going to be looking for a difference maker or someone they can use as a trade chip.
Yeah.
Like, if I'll say this, if Anthony Davis is traded before or during the draft, it will be to the Lakers.
Really?
Yeah. If he's traded, if it's after the draft, it will be to the Knicks.
Damn.
That's all I can see happening. Because the number 4 pick is a drastic drop-off, not only in talent from 3, but also it's going to be hard to make that. The Lakers are going to be making that decision. And if we're talking about the whole, pyramid meme of, the tiers of players, Zion is in the first tier, then it's John Morant and RJ Barrett in the second tier, and then it's everyone else in the third. And making that decision is so much harder than scooping up RJ at 3.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you can also look at the great chemistry RJ and Zion had,
Exactly,
and
yeah.
how fun they were to watch. And the Pelicans need a box office hit,
Yeah.
and that can definitely be that. But back to the Lakers, Jarrett Culver just shows up, shoots. He can shoot the ball, he can handle the ball for you. If Lonzo Ball is actually out with the Lakers, you can do that.
Mm-hmm.
The Lakers may be super happy that they have the 4th pick. I still don't see them getting Anthony Davis. I think this team is headed straight down. I don't think they get any major free agent. I think the age of LeBron is over. I don't think anyone wants to play with him, and I think pairing him with young guys has never been good.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that the Lakers went, okay, we'll trade all our young guys is not a great decision. And now you see them trying to trade LeBron. That whole organization is in complete shambles.
Yeah, complete disarray.
So I think going Jarrett Culver, I believe out of Texas Tech, would just be a smart decision.
Mm-hmm.
You get a very good player. You get a player that can work well with every young player you have on your roster, or that can work well with LeBron. And you can just start rolling out lineups with him at point guard and go from there. And you can hope to God that you get a free agent, or that you can manage to convince the Pelicans to give you Anthony Davis. but it's not looking great for them.
Yeah. Cleveland.
This is for you.
Damn, I don't know. I think
they would have loved Jarrett Culver, but we'll probably end up going best player available in DeAndre Hunter.
Yeah. And, I don't really know what's going on with Cleveland. They got...
This was
Colin
such a
Sexton.
bad situation for them.
Yeah, C.D. Osman.
Yep. Chetty. But it's
still... Yeah, it's not... It's going to take a while for Cleveland to get back to the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean...
Unless Colin Sexton, blows up.
Yeah.
Which I don't really see happening, especially not after 1 year.
Yeah, depending on how high the Cavs are on Cam Reddish, I could see that happening and asking Cam Reddish to play the 2.
Mm-hmm. I think the Cavs are gonna have another top 5 pick next year.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
think the Cavs are gonna be the Knicks. The Cavs next year are gonna be the Knicks this year. I think. Just like with
the Cavs were pretty close to being the Knicks this year. The Cavs
true.
This year were pretty close to being the Knicks this year.
That's true, but the Cavs at least have Tristan Thompson or
Yeah.
Or, and Kevin Love, who didn't really play a lot.
Yeah, well, I can assure you they'll try to get off of Kevin Love's contract.
So you trade him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I would definitely agree with that.
That's just so much dead money that they're not using for anything that they just kind of need to get off their books. Phoenix, far cry from where they thought they were getting John Morant.
Yeah.
It's not a great situation for them.
This is going to frustrate Devin Booker a lot.
I mean, yeah. I think Devin Booker should want out already. I think we could see the Suns being aggressive in a trade. All that being said, I think they go Darius Garland, the best guard available. I had him actually falling to the Timberwolves before because, Memphis now taking the top point guard moves everyone down. Darius Garland is my number 3 point guard, but I don't think the Suns are going to go with Kobe White. I think they want the more banger bust pick. And Darius Garland, say what you will, but his ball handling is definitely a bit better than Kobe White. Kobe White can play off ball, which is why I'm going to take your next pick quickly. I think Chicago goes Kobe White. I said they would go Kobe White at number 4, which is a massive reach. Now that he's more in this range, they go with that. So we have 2 back-to-back guards going to the most point guard needy teams. And you have more of a scorer going to Phoenix, and more of an off-ball player and just a good leader going to Chicago. And Chicago has their starting 5 of the future completely done. And now it's just about filling in a bench. And Chris Dunn is a good start to that bench. They could also package, the Bulls could package it straight for Lonzo Ball. We said so. Lonzo Ball would fit in well, although I'm not sure he would fit in as well as Kobe White. Kobe White may not be the defender that Lonzo Ball is, but Kobe White, he can shoot the ball. He's a great distributor, not at the level of Lonzo Ball, but definitely very good. So the Bulls are a team to watch. The Suns are a team to watch. Both are very desperate after falling this far, but it seems like they're going to be able to move forward and not fall off too much, just because at the end of the day, they were already in situations where they only had one position of need, which was point guard, in a very weak point guard draft.
Yeah.
You wanna take off Atlanta?
Atlanta. I don't really know anymore.
I mean, I mocked this, so I
yeah. You want to take? How about you take?
Oh no, I can't do that. I'll give you the pick. You can talk on it. Cam Reddish at number 8.
At number 8. Well, I mean, Atlanta. I like Cam Reddish to Atlanta, because then you'll have a core group of Trae Young, Cam Reddish, John Collins,
Kevin Huerter.
Yeah, Kevin Huerter's good.
Amari Spellman. You
got Kent Bazemore, who's a really good shooter.
Yep, but he is most definitely not young.
No.
There we go.
We got a call.
All right. Well, hello. You're on air.
I'm on air.
Yep.
Oh, cool. I have a quick question / theory. My name's Ben. I know very little about basketball.
Okay, Ben.
But, some draft thing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Am I interrupting that? Is that a problem?
Nah, you're doing fine.
Ask a question.
Okay, cool. It's about the Warriors, and this might not be relevant anymore because Kevin Durant's going to leave, but I think the Warriors are worse with him.
Why?
I want to hear your thoughts.
Wait, why? Explain it. Explain yourself.
Well, I mean, the record speaks for it. I think the Warriors are now 30-1 without Durant while he's on the team. It gives Steph more touches. It gives Clay more touches. But I think at the end of the day, you got to look at the talent there. Kevin Durant is the ultimate luxury, and he raises that team's ceiling. Maybe not by much. Maybe it's just by 3 or 4 games. But he gives them a closer to go to, and they.
What I think about all this, though, is that despite the fact that you might call Kevin Durant a luxury, I think a more accurate way of looking at him is as something that detracts from the cohesiveness and fluidity that made the team so special in the first place. So obviously Kevin Durant's a superstar, and no one's questioning that. The thing is, thinking about him as a luxury sort of implies the fact that he doesn't fundamentally change the way the team operates, which he does.
He does.
Just in a negative way.
Damn, that was poetry.
That was very well said. He does change the way the team works slightly, but only insofar in the late game. During the game, you see Kevin Durant post-ups sometimes, but you mostly see the Kevin Durant post-ups and ISOs late game as a closer.
Well, no, I would actually agree with Ben and say that he does, because like the 73-9 Warriors, if it was like
they moved the ball.
Last 2 minutes, minute and a half.
Yeah.
That ball was moving. Now, last 2 minutes or minute and a half, the ball's in Kevin Durant's hands.
The last 2 minutes. That's what I'm saying. But I think normally they play the same.
No,
during the game they play the same. They move the ball during the game.
No, because Durant, it all is now focused. Because 73-9, it wasn't just Curry, even though he was amazing. Like it was Curry, Clay, and
Kevin Durant is just a different version of Harrison Barnes. He'll still shoot the 3, and he's not the main ball handler on that team.
But he is the main focus now on that team.
I disagree.
Steph.
I think maybe in the last 2 minutes he is, but normally in game he is not the main focus.
I think the ball stops more when it gets to Kevin Durant.
Yeah.
Here's what I would say.
Okay.
I think full debate about whether or not Kevin Durant is the main focus is a tiny bit misguided, because even though it might be true that he's not going to be the only one with the ball when you have that many superstars on your starting lineup, I think what is the case is that when he is making plays, he's operating in a way that just involves the other people less than another player would. So he's just making everyone else stand behind and watch while he's doing his thing, when other top players for the Warriors are involving everyone else more. Whether or not Kevin Durant is like.
I'll agree, but that usually only happens in the last 2 minutes when you're in a clutch scenario and you need Kevin Durant to just hit a contested mid-range, which he does. So I think you'll always have Steph and Clay and KD and Draymond and Iggy when you don't have a center in, or Boogie for this like the 30-game stretch we got to see him. You'll always have that going on, and that focus will always be there. And Kevin Durant is not the main playmaker on that team. More often than not, Steph Curry will have the ball there, or Draymond Green will have the ball, and that was a cause of friction during the season, with Draymond getting more touches than KD as a ball handler. And so I think you have KD as your main ball handler in the clutch, yes, but during the game, I think you still remain with the normal team dynamic that they still have from 2016.
So if that's true, and Kevin Durant is so good, why are they still, why did it take them 6 games to beat the LA Clippers? And why are they, winning more now that he's gone?
Okay, well, no, that's
a tune-up, my guy. That's when you've been bored of the whole season so long that you need to.
The Warriors were not trying in that series.
They started trying, I'd say, after Game 4. After Game 4, they realized, oh shit, this is what's happening, and they just started trying. And ever since then, we've seen a motivated Warriors team. I think those first 4 games
they were just asleep.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's a bit of a different situation. I mean, you saw it, but.
Do you think there's they're solidly worse off without him?
I don't. I think it's kind of a lateral move. I think in the postseason they'll be worse off without him. But if we're just talking regular season numbers, I'm very excited to see MVP Steph Curry back, and we'll definitely go from there.
Sure. You gotta think like that's an interesting situation though, where having a player like Kevin Durant on your team doesn't make that much of a difference.
Yeah, definitely.
It's the concept of diminishing returns with a superstar.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right.
Well, thanks for your time, guys.
Great. Thank you so much
Thank
for calling
you for calling in, Ben.
Right.
Yeah, Matt, I love you.
I love you too, Ben. Bye.
All right. Great. What pick were we on? Were we on number 9?
Yeah.
Washington? Washington jumps on the chance to take DeAndre Hunter at 9.
Yeah?
I mean, they got problems. They got so many
They
problems.
do have a lot of problems.
Bobby Portis going into restricted free agency, he kind of made that team better. At this point, you just got to build around what Brad Beal wants. And, I mean, look, DeAndre Hunter's the ultimate glue guy. And if anyone's going to be able to fix the culture of the Wizards, it's going to be him. And he's happily going to show up. He's going to give you good defense on any position. And he's just gonna work hard.
Yeah.
And he's definitely gonna be a good pick and roll partner. He's shown that he can kind of hit the 3. He is, to me, just a new Draymond Green.
Yeah, a better Draymond Green.
Excuse me. And at this point, the Wizards kind of are just a team of holes.
Yeah.
They took a shot on Jeff Green that didn't work. They traded Otto Porter halfway through the season. We saw that he is still a great player, if overpaid. And John Wall is going to be out until the end of time.
Yeah.
So you just look at the Wizards and think, well,
Ruh-roh.
yeah. Also, you got to wonder, are they going to trade Brad Beal? Because if Brad Beal makes an all-star team, an all-NBA team, he is eligible for the Supermax. Do you think the Wizards actually want to have 2 Supermax players on their roster that isn't going anywhere?
I don't know, because, like, yeah, they have 2 Supermaxes, but, like, you need Bradley Beal because you don't have John Wall. Like,
I think they could look to trade Brad Beal, and I think a very likely candidate would be the Lakers. We saw it since the start of the season. Brad Beal would fit perfectly with LeBron James. The Lakers need some other star, or else all of this is going to go to shit. And the Wizards would definitely sell Brad Beal, and it would be an overpay, but he is pretty much the only star you have on the market. Think about it. You have Anthony Davis, you have Mike Conley, and you have Brad Beal. Who else is available? No one.
Yeah, no one.
Al Horford, maybe, but how much is Al Horford really going to change the needle? And there's no way the Celtics are trading with the Lakers. Absolutely not.
Yeah, no.
So it looks like the options for the Lakers are just cut. There's not much to do.
Yeah, there really isn't.
All right, you want to take 10? Atlanta again.
Yeah. Who do you think? I don't know any more names.
All right. Well, I had Jackson Hayes.
Okay.
Mocked in my draft. They're gonna look at center. That's their biggest need. I think John Collins is a full-time 4. Could play sometime at the 5, but is not going to be playing the 4 all the time. Well, is not going to be playing the 5 very often.
Yeah.
So they got to look at where to find a 5, and they could rebuild a new Lob City with just shooters. They could have a full roster with that Lob City never had. So far we would have a team of Trae Young, we would have Kevin Huerter at the 2, or Kent Bazemore, depending on whether you wanted to win now. Cam Reddish at the 3. Then you have John Collins and Amari Spellman at the 4, and then you just look at the 5. Dwayne Dedmon is probably going to be gone. He has been one of the most underrated players in the league as a good rim protector that can also shoot the 3. So you just got to look at their center rotation. They have Alex Poitras. I don't know how to say his name. But they really want a high jumper, and Jackson Hayes is definitely that.
Yeah.
Jackson Hayes can jump. He's essentially DeAndre Jordan with less defense. And they'll go there. They'll build their offensive juggernaut. John Collins needs to learn how to hit the 3 even better. He kind of added it to his game, but he's still just a run and jump player for the most part. But I think if you look at that and think Luka Doncic for Trae Young and Jackson Hayes, it doesn't look nearly as good as potentially Luka Doncic for Trae Young and who knows, a higher end pick like DeAndre Hunter or whatever it would be.
Yeah. Okay, your boys.
My boys, T-Wolves. God, this hurts me so much. Darius Garland was who I had mocked before the lottery, but now that everyone's so guard thirsty, he's probably gone. Rui Hachimura is an option, but I'm actually going to go with the other Gonzaga Big man in Keldon Johnson. He got hurt. That's the main reason why he's going to fall. He's an absolute monster. And he can fill in for a lot of Cats' problems. So the Timberwolves really need a point guard, and they need a power forward, and they need some type of outside shot maker. And they're not going to find the outside shot maker at this point. Like it's just too far. It's too much. So they're probably going to have to settle for power forward. This is a very deep power forward class. And then, Keldon Johnson can shoot the three, can step out, doesn't need to be as much of an offensive influence, but he can defend, I think, 1 through 4, potentially even 5. He can rim protect. So as much as Cat's defense has gotten better, it's still just average. Adding someone like Keldon Johnson could help him out because Cat's going to need possessions off on defense.
Yeah.
Like, he does so much for that team offensively. I think this is going to be the offseason that Wiggins is gone.
Where to?
I don't know. That's the problem. There's no team that really has a small forward hole anymore. Like, the Mavs have a small forward hole. They're not going to care. I mean, I think the Nets could take a flyer on Andrew Wiggins.
Wait, can you imagine though if the Mavs took Andrew Wiggins and he blossoms?
He probably would. Admit
Then you have Luka,
Wiggins,
Porzingis,
and whoever you get in free agency, and that's an all-international big three.
Even though Porzingis, that's a storyline.
Porzingis getting the shit beat out of him in Latvia.
Because 3 Russian men beat the fuck out of him.
Yeah, well, talk about that for a bit. Talk about
good.
Their hatred.
He deserves to get punched in the face.
Yeah,
I'm glad it was done in Latvia and not here, but he still gets deserved to get punched in the face. I mean, he backstabbed the Knicks. And all that shit that's being said about him, really is, good. I'm glad he got punched in the face.
Yeah. I mean, Chris smacks Porzingis, in the words of James Dolan, but who knows? Chris Snopes has really gone from he's this good guy, and now everyone, more and more stories come out, and he's looking worse and worse.
The Knicks sold really high.
Yeah.
They sold
really high, but they did not sell him at full value, if that makes sense. It would be worse if this came.
They traded
it would
him,
be
and
worse
then
if
it
this
came out
came
a week later.
Yeah, but at the same time, he's on an ACL injury. We don't know if he'll ever be the same. So they sold low in that regard.
Well, no, but listen.
They sold high if we're taking into account public scandals. They sold low if we're.
Well, yeah, but if you think about it, you're the Knicks. You're trying to get rid of Kristaps Porzingis, or Kristaps Porzingis wants out, and he says he's not going to return to the team. And then all this shit comes out about him. So no team is going to want him.
Yep.
Or if they do, then they're going to not offer a lot.
Yep.
And so you don't give up what you're going to get. And what you would have given up is leaving.
Yeah.
So you're left in an even worse position than they were.
I'd also like to mention that I think the Timberwolves could have gone with Nasir Little. I'm a big fan of him, but he's really not the top end of talent that he was before the draft. I'm going to take Charlotte quickly.
Okay.
Bobo, you go with the highest potential. He slid really far because of that leg injury. Those injuries. I mean, a big man that's injury prone, you worry. But Charlotte manages to scoop him up. They haven't. I mean, if Kemba stays, he can be really good with Kemba. If not, you can just let him go. He is a unicorn.
Who?
Bobo.
Oh yeah.
He's a good rim protector. He can manage to take a rebound and go in transition. He just has a lot available. And, I mean, I think they're happy with that.
Yeah. All right, so
Miami Heat, we're going to go on a speed round because,
yeah,
you
just
know,
do
time
Miami
running
and
out.
Boston.
All right, Miami, Nasir Little, they love defensive players. They love hard-nosed defensive players. They went with Justice Winslow before when he was available. Nasir Little is a very similar type of player. Can't shoot the ball as well, but defends like a legend, and is going to be a project offensively, but he can move. He's definitely going to buy in. You know, he wasn't having a lot of fun in UNC, but during the tournament, he really just buckled down, strapped in, and said, "You know what? I'm here for the team." And we saw his play improve by that.
Yeah,
like it catapulted him back into being, you know, this higher pick. And I mean, I think Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra are just going to absolutely love him, and as well they should. They could also look to go for a shot maker, shot creator. Romeo Langford is still on the board. I think the Timberwolves could also go with him, but his question is injury, and I don't really know what they want to do there. I think they want to give Josh Richardson as much room to grow. And then the Celtics, whose package for Anthony Davis is now decidedly worse. I mean, Jaylen Brown, his value is essentially the same. Jason Tatum's value is way down. And then this pick is, of course, the last in the lottery. They go Rui Hachimura. I'm not sold with, you know, the Time Lord Robert Williams. You're still going to get a few good years out of Al Horford, and why not draft his heir apparent? Rui Hachimura is a switchy defender, can kind of shoot, has a post game, very similar to Al Horford, just a bit shorter. I think if you're going to stay young and you're going to have Al Horford as the emotional leader of that team, you really got to look at someone like Rui, who's just going to step in and kind of do what he's supposed to, do what he's told. And we've seen that player works great with Brad Stevens' system. And so I think that makes the most sense. Then going into the later picks, the biggest names to watch for me would be, as I just said, Romeo Langford. There was this article that came out on Bleacher Report recently about this hidden gem who would be who the Rockets and the Heat are both trying to look at. And I mean, if I don't remember his name, how am I going to talk about him? But then you also have bigger names in the tournament, like I believe it was Matt Guy.
Yeah.
Tyler Harrow.
Kyle Guy.
Tyler Harrow out of Kentucky. Just shooters.
Yeah.
It's a deep draft. It's just not going to have much top-end talent. Like, we saw the top three are the only three teams that really have a superstar talent, potentially. And yeah, the biggest storylines to watch in the draft, which is, I believe, just about a few weeks away. I believe it's on the 20th. Yep. Or not the 20th of May, the 20th of June.
June 20th.
Yeah. And who knows? Biggest things to watch. The Suns getting aggressive. The Bulls getting really aggressive. The Lakers are obviously going to go after Anthony Davis. The Knicks should do that. The Pelicans could try to hold on to Anthony Davis in season, which I think is a stupid decision because you're obviously not going to get much of a haul.
Yeah.
And then sleeper teams to go after Anthony Davis. I got the Nuggets. We saw that Paul Millsap is aging. And as good as Gary Harris might be, you can give him up. With Juancho Hernangomez and Malik Beasley on the roster. So I think the Nuggets could definitely make a good package. And it's going to be an interesting draft to watch. And it's going to be a great offseason to watch because we're going to probably have the end of the Warriors.
Yeah.
So we'll keep talking about that. School obviously ends in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
So it's going to be hard to keep the actual show running. But
a week we'll find a way.
Yep.
This is fun.
And we will absolutely try to we'll definitely keep the Insta running for
Definitely.
that. Follow BSPN Radio.
It might become a podcast. We don't know.
Yep.
But we ain't got to think about that right now. We have 2 more shows.
Yep.
On BRAD.
Yep. And this show will be uploaded on the BSPN radio archive on YouTube. So subscribe to that. Follow the Insta.
All the Insta, BSPN Radio.
And we'll be back here next week, same time.
Same time, same place, same people, different topics. Good night.
Good night.
Goodbye.
Good afternoon, ladies and gents. Have a nice week.